here are some closing thoughts. I'm going to unlist this video and probably never publish it. Now this video, the theme of it is that women have no right to demand the same amount of respect as men in general. Now if they're better than a man at something, they're more talented at math or something, by all means. But as far as being a great person with great judgment, mind, body, and soul, absolutely, it is insane to give them that respect. Now, bear with me now. Let's look at equality. If I saw a great woman who was uncontrolled opposition, she was a great, I don't know, ballet dancer, something that's not even as respectable as martial arts is for men. She claimed to be drugged. And I don't know, but she has 11 witnesses. She's made thousands of videos, and she has a challenge. Well, first of all, I would be in love. You know, if she's beautiful in shape and, you know, mind, body, and soul, mwah, in love. Just wow. I wouldn't have to meet her to be in love. I'd be like, that is who I want to marry. Because her actions scream the type of person that she is. She would have won my respect automatically. She's uncontrolled. She's standing on her own 10 toes. You just do not see that from anybody, especially not a woman. Now, I would say, you know what? I believe that she's being drugged. 99.9%. Even if she didn't have 11 witnesses. And I'll tell you why. I've been studying mental health, psychiatry especially, for over 20 years. I have been to psych wards, hospitals, halfway houses, outpatient. I have interacted with these people. I have talked to them in forums on YouTube and Facebook and different places. In my entire life, I have never come across a single case of somebody who believes that they are being drugged when they really aren't. Furthermore, I have never come across a case of somebody who is a great athlete or warrior who's extremely politically active that believes they're being drugged when they're not. We know people sabotage people, especially political activists. I mean, the Dixie Girls barely did anything. All they did was really speak out against the war, and look what happened to them. So I would know right away that yes, she is being drugged. It would really take a complete retard. I can't imagine anyone with even average intelligence that would think that someone like that isn't being drugged covertly. It just doesn't make any sense. So no, I don't respect women, especially not the gang stalkers who are the most aware. How are you going to be the most aware of what's going on and still keep gang stalking someone who probably is the greatest man in this country? It's like the sniveling dogs that betrayed Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, or Martin Luther King. You know, it's like completely despicable, just lowly, evil, cowardly, selfish, just unworthy of life, unworthy of air. So no, I can't respect women. No, they didn't stand with me. Yes, they're traitors. Yes, they're inferior minds. And no, unattractive women should not have tried to take advantage of the situation. With that being said, I want to leave you with this final thought. There was probably about 8 to 10 years of me being off psych meds, no one complaining about me. Okay? And then 2009 occurred. I started making ripples. It took till about 2011 for me to have several hundred videos, for me to start making waves. And as I started achieving 100,000 views on some of my videos, and my platinum local channel was taken down, and then another channel was taken down. Now all of a sudden, on the anniversary of my uncle's death, after sticking up for my cousins, saying that they're not mentally ill, I am set up and taken to the psych ward on that day. I've told that story many times. I was starving, I was angry. It's a long story, but we all know how hunger can make us irritable and how sibling rivalry can compound the problem. And how the anniversary of your uncle's death with tension in the air can worsen the problem. They didn't consider any environmental factors like the eugenicists they are, like the biological psychiatrists they are, like the social biologists who have accepted masonic social sciences that they are. They said, well, it's a chemical imbalance, drug him. And let's not forget, the main motivation was political. Just like all the top psychiatrists have said, Colin Ross, Dr. Thomas Zaz, and many others. The political abuse of psychiatry, a subject that has been thoroughly explored by scholars over the years. So no, I cannot respect anyone who doesn't even have a very basic understanding of life. They cannot see that I was set up and covertly drugged because no one can beat me at martial arts and no one can defeat my arguments. You know, I've offered $1,000 to anyone who can disprove a single key point in any of my videos that I did not take back myself. And I have thousands of videos. Instead, they drug me. How is this freedom? How is this democracy? How is that not confounding my free speech? Liberals are oppressive, big government worshipping trash that do not stand up for the most righteous among us. If the most righteous among us, the most selfless among us, is oppressed for telling the truth, that nobody is truly free, then we are dramatically oppressed. Nobody should be treated the way I have been, and certainly not for doing something as admirable and honorable as I have done. They have no excuse for it. Provoking someone to anger and taking him to the psych ward for making noise in his own room on 15 acres in the middle of nowhere where the phone does not even have service. Despicable, ignoble, unforgivable. If anyone does not see it my way, I suggest they stop voting, they stop talking about politics until they have done their research. And if you think I'm wrong about this, ask yourselves why you cannot definitively prove me wrong. If for nothing else, the fact that psychiatry has no valid diagnostic test and has a long history of political abuse should raise a flag. The fact that you don't exactly come across people who claim to be covertly drugged when they're not every single fucking day or something should raise another flag. The fact that I have a $3,000 top martial artist challenge and over 3,000 videos about politics and criticizing psychiatry should raise another flag. The fact that psychiatrists kill 500,000 people every year in Western countries alone should raise another flag. And I can go on and on and on. I'll leave you with this last thought. The fact that I have proven that the MKUltra substances they were experimenting with have the same effect as the psych drugs have on people, more often than not, should raise another flag. Because when you look at it, right, if you're not experiencing this symptom, you're experiencing another. And the people who were doing that in MKUltra were trying to sabotage people with those effects. So if you give someone a drug that has maybe 15% of people experience this side effect, which overlaps with the MKUltra motives and research and what they were looking for, right, in the substance. And 10% experience that other side effect that happens to be another thing that overlaps. By the time you go through it, you are almost certainly guaranteed to have one side effect or another that plays you the fuck out exactly in the same way that they wish to play people out. And instead of them doing it covertly, using a proxy, they didn't just say FBI agent, they said, or someone else, a proxy. They are doing it covertly using psychiatry, hidden in plain view, as the conspiracy theorists talk about Masonry all the time. Hidden in plain view. And these are the people who experimented with LSD, methamphetamines, coke, marijuana, and other illicit street drugs. They made the street drug culture popular. Look, the street drugs weren't the only MK Ultra substances they made popular. Psych meds were also some. And does it surprise you? The most expensive street drugs are pharmaceuticals. Percocet, Oxycontin. These are more expensive than cocaine or meth or heroin. Should it surprise you? They are using street drugs and psych meds to have the same kind of oppressive effects that they were looking for on record in their mind control programs for about 2 decades, from the early 50s to the early 70s on record, but Victor Marchetti said that they never stopped. When you do the math, watch this video again, think. Watch it again, think. Watch it 5 times if you don't agree. I guarantee you, the more you watch it and think, the more you look around and see the effects of psychiatry and street drugs, you're going to say, hey, you know what? The CIA, the same people who did MK Ultra, the same people who did Iran-Contra, the same people who almost certainly assassinated Kennedy, the CIA brought the crack into the black community. They made LSD popular with their psychologist buddies at college campuses, and it spread to start the psychedelic movement. The CIA also had CIA doctors on record who were psychiatrists, the head of psychiatric departments, the head of the Canadian Psychiatric Association, the head of the Biological Psychiatric Association, the head of World Psychiatric Association, and the head of the Canadian Psychiatric Association. Or did I say that twice? Anyway, you get the point. The point is, on record, when you do your due diligence, the CIA and the Masons, the Scottish Rite, on record, made prescription drugs popular in society. They made street drugs popular in society while making a fortune off them, and they did it for control. These are intelligence agencies concerned with control, and they deal with collateral damage and population control. This is not some crazy conspiracy theory. This is well documented. There isn't a single historian who would come out and say, you know what, he's wrong. They're forced to say, he's right. And whether it was by design or not, the effect that it had was the MK Ultra substances have been made popular in society using street gangs and drug cartels, which on record have a certain relationship with the CIA. Google it. And using the same psychiatric associations and groups that the heads of those groups and associations controlled during MK Ultra. If you think that's a coincidence, you are a fucking oppressor because you're an idiot. Make no mistake, I have so much to say still. Some of the best ideas I will ever have, I will have after I stop making videos. But I want to leave you with this thought. We'll call it a PS. For those of you who don't understand why I'm mad at those who are complicit with the New World Order, I don't think there's anything I can say to make you understand. For those of you who do not understand, the main philosophies of the New World Order are the eugenic, pagan, Satanist, criminal philosophies, LGBT-friendly philosophies, feminism, atheism, racism, and etc. Masonic philosophies, secret society philosophies, New Age philosophies. There's probably not much I can tell you. If you're a member of one of those philosophies, there's not much I can truly tell you, because your complex keeps you from seeing it. This is not like being a race. You know, you're not born having one of those philosophies. You can be gay and reject the gay movements to twist philosophies to make the world more gay friendly. You can be a woman without being a feminist. No one is born in any of those philosophies. They might be born in an environment that puts a lot of social pressure on them, but they don't have to accept those philosophies. For all you LGBT people, my main problem isn't that you have tendencies toward being gay or that you feel the need to have homosexual sex. My problem is that you subscribe to the philosophy that it is okay, that it is civilized, that it is natural, that you should push for it and make gender-friendly bathrooms gender-neutral bathrooms and so on. And when it comes to women, I know no matter how much I explain this to you people, you have a complex. You do not like when a man tells you that women are more wrong than men. Very few women have the maturity and the insight and the transcendence it takes to look within their gender and say, yes, we are actually more wrong than men. Despite the domestic violence, despite the rapes, was it a woman doing what I'm doing right now? No. Was it a woman who's a top martial artist with a top martial artist challenge? No. But more importantly, how did women react to my Cushite push, to my great Igbo righteous push to save the world? Were they in awe, recognizing and realizing true manhood, masculinity, righteousness, and bravery? Were they lining up, tripping over each other, trying to be my wife, lover, or girlfriend? Or did they harass me, persecute me, shun me, turn a blind eye to what is going on, stab me in the back, covertly drug me, fume me, gang stalk me, sabotage me, try to take advantage of the situation if they were unattractive? Gays trying to catfish me, but we're focusing on women. How did they react? And can you turn around and say, yes, generally women are equal to men, or yes, generally women have good judgment? No. Because it takes judgment to decide not to conform. It takes judgment to decide to love someone like me, or to be attracted, or to try to get to know someone like me. They did not do that. I gave my life to save the world. And they did all those horrible things I described earlier, until finally there was nothing left but for them to kill me. And many of you will be watching this or listening to this after they killed me. Not a single person can say they have a just reason to do so. Can they say, well, you know, your critique of women is not fair? What the hell are you talking about? I'm supposed to be silent about them killing babies, you know, abortions, them breaking down the family when they have admitted it? Famous feminists have admitted it. Prominent feminist figures, Labour Party MP, admitting that yes, we used to say a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle, and yes, that absolutely was a major factor in breaking down the families. Am I supposed to turn a blind eye to witchcraft and the philosophies that the elite have with feminists in common, including mainstream feminism, including dual gender androgynous fucking amalgamations of masculine and female philosophies and religions, and gender feminism and gender neutrality and transgenderism, transhumanism? Was I supposed to be quiet about that? Is it not fair to tell the truth? Was my top martial artist challenge that I put my money where my mouth is as I'm drugged? Yes, my top martial arts challenge was not fair. It was not fair to me. And in the process, it was more than fair to everyone else. I was drugged, sabotaged, gang-stalked, and more. It was absolutely not fair to me. And I was absolutely the best still. And it was absolutely not fair to me that I was not given my credit during my lifetime for it. Do they have a single good reason? So help me God, they do not. All their reasons have to do with conformity, social pressure, and cowardice. So no, they did not have good judgment. Not a single one of them. In the most populated state, in one of the most populated countries in the world. How could anyone miss that? Anyone. Looking for years. Facebook, Tinder, the mall, the clubs. How could anyone miss their bad judgment, their treachery, and their spiritual defeat? Women have proven beyond any doubt that the Bible was right to put them in the place that they're supposed to be in. Period.